Morning, everyone. This is Lance here. I don't have my beloved Louise with me today. She's at home. But I was feeling a bit nostalgic, so I told Louise I'm going up to Cora. I need to see the old land. I need to be on it for a while. I'm crunching away at an apple in case you find a funny sound coming from my mouth there. I have with me here a black cock, rooster. I think they call him Chambers. He can be quite aggressive at times. But right now he's hunting food. He's sharing my apple, as a matter of fact. And where I'm sitting actually was the backyard of our home that might have been over 80 years old when it was pulled down in 2019. Cora has wonderful memories of me and Louise. You know, there was a time when table tennis got into our bloodstream, and Bertram and I put together a board and we would play some ping pong right here in this backyard. Across the road to the right, where you would have seen Lasana doing some videos, that took us to the place they called Batiste Pool. That's where I learned to swim. I could never dive though. Back in the old days when the house stood here and the cricket match would have been going on lower down, I fell into a bucket that the old man had provided with honey water for the players. I think I was about 5 years old then. I fell headlong into that bucket, and Mother came running out, I heard. Very anxious that one of her loved children had taken a dive. Silly old me. I think I bled through the nose, and that was a good sign, they said. She took me to a doctor, and he didn't find anything wrong with me. It could have affected my brain along the way in this journey of life, but I don't feel in any way handicapped mentally. But you know, we had good days in Cora, very good days. Lots of people visited, lots of people stayed on. My cousins came. I didn't know all of our cousins, because it was strange that some little family disturbance separated a lot of the family. So I didn't get to meet my first cousins and whatnot, which is quite a tragedy in any family. But today I am really nostalgic. My dad was a very hardworking man, and Mother loved him. She might have been lonely up here in the valley. She might have had her off days where she would have, expressed disapproval of some things. But she was a dutiful woman. When my brothers all left and my sisters left, maybe at the age of 16, I was alone with Mother and Father. And I observed her really preparing his meals. He would come home around maybe 5:30, and she would be dutifully waiting on him, everything hot. You know how them people long time used to do it, huh? Rice hot, gravy hot, chicken hot, provision waiting, knife and fork set by. And I would sit and eat with them, and sometimes, little things sprung up. But there has to be one in the family, one at least in the family, who could say, listen, you're going the wrong way. I believe that there was a time when I sat to eat with them, and there might have been a little crosstalk, mainly from my mother. But the old man, he just stifled everything and he plodded on through his meal. He was sweating. I feel sweat was even falling into his gravy. But you know something? I said to them, listen, you all have been carrying on this for too long, far too long. I believe, really, that it's time you all take stock of these differences. Get together and display some love. Okay, you're home in the valley and you feel that perhaps you're missing out. And he's way down in the workplace and he wants to get home. But you know, you could sort out your differences. And that's the thing that mother and father stopped bickering and decided to, let's see where we could travel to. I believe they got as far as England. I did see some photographs, of course, of them having a little, disagreement. But we take our personalities with us. But we try to conquer them. One of the things that I really I feel sorry about is that I used to like to go to the river with my brothers. And because of that, I would choose to go to the river with my brothers. And you know, we would walk down the front steps, my brother Lennox and Cedric, and we would head down to the river. We might start with Batiste Pool, and we will end up walking in a northerly direction along the banks, going to what they call Perrine. Hey, again, Andy.
What's up, man?
I'm trying to get a little nostalgia out of my system, boy. What do you remember about Cora here as a little fella?
As a little fella? Well, you know, the funny thing is, I remember the home that we would have in a, I don't know if this would be able to hear me with it plugged into your chest there. I remember coming to that home, boy. Now, I believe that your mom, my granny, would have passed away when I was about 2 years old. But I want to feel like I have a memory of entering that house. It was it wasn't concrete. What it was? What they call tapia or something?
Semi.
Right? Mm-hmm. With the wooden floors and the floorboards, you know, it creaking. Sometimes you might look down and you're seeing little spaces in between, but it was well polished. Mm-hmm. Well polished, like they had you working hard polishing that floor.
Of course, boy. They had a whole kind of thing that these are shined it, but you have to really press hard on it. And a kind of a felt onto it. So you put the polish on the floor, and then you push this hard, heavy metal thing across it. And like a kind of like how you have a sander. There was something attached to it, but it was
manual.
Mm-hmm. Manual.
Right? Now going into the kitchen area, you all had a kind of, I don't want to call it a chandelier, but almost like a lamp hanging from a
Yes, that was a Coleman lamp.
A Coleman lamp.
Yeah, we had no electricity.
But was it hanging? No, this was something. The house already had electricity. Mm-hmm. But it was hanging from a chain. But it's like a single dome light over the table.
Right.
Was that kind of flower pattern table or something?
That's right.
With some netted chairs around it.
Yeah, a 6-seater chair.
And there was a refrigerator in the corner. And I can clearly remember an ice cream container with honeycombs and honey inside it. Right. And a toaster maybe on a chest of drawers, or not a chest of drawers, what do you call it? A little cabinet or something. A little safe. A toaster. I remember toasting bread and butter, and you spread some of that honey. And to this day, you're talking about nostalgia. But that is one of the things that I enjoy still. Recently, Frank gave me a bottle of honey. And to toast that bread and you put some butter and you drizzle some honey, just take me right back to that moment with your home growing up as a little boy.
Very nice.
So a lot of nice memories, man. I feel like at the time I didn't eat out a toast bread and I feel like father buff him up. That man was serious about the fruits and the bread.
Thank you very much.
Clip this one for you.
Thank you very much. Oh yes. Great, thank you. So we're heading.
Huh?
We're heading. Anywhere particular?
No, I just come to check you.
That's very nice of you, man. I was just reaching the place where, you know, as a son checking on father. I was telling the folks here there were times when I would go to the river with my brothers, okay? And he would say, you want to go to the river? And I would say, no, I don't feel like the river today. I lied, of course. And then when he would walk down that track, and I would run to pay reed with the boys, you know? But it took me years when I became an adult, got married. And I returned to Cora one day and he said, let's go to the river. And I walked along the road. And he was walking slowly down the track. And I realized how many times I cheated him. Times he needed company. And I wasn't there for him, you know. But with all of that, he didn't bear a grudge. Oh no, he didn't bear a grudge against not being there with him. But I appreciate you coming down here to check on me. You see, this is what, as you grow older, I guess you'll have it in your own time too.
Of course, right.
You know, your family will grow, your girls will grow. If ever you have a son, he'll grow. And then he'll want to be, you know, with his friends. So what? But the old man and the old lady, they had a good life.
I love girls, I love girl children.
Yeah.
Your sons don't go river with you.
That's right. Simon, and you know one of the things about the dogs, boy, the dogs really were good company, yeah? Every time we walked out and we said, look, hey, river time, those dogs come with us, you know. And Father will have us wash them, you know, bathe them by the river, soap them like if they were humans, you know. Yeah, man, take off the ticks, whatever.
It's so funny you bring up them dogs. That's now sweeping up some sand that the dogs dig up there, right? And it occurred to me how important it was that animals do have like that capacity to, like a kind of serious conscience and reason and power. Because you could imagine if you could weaponize animals. I mean, you could still weaponize an animal, you could train a dog, but imagine if you could consciously tell a dog, hey, my father coming up there, boy. But you see my father, I ain't really like him. I want you to set him up for me, right? No, it sounded crazy, but you could imagine if you could harness, you could train a dog to attack, sniff cocaine, or whatever the case might be, right? But imagine if you could reason with animals on that level, that it had to be reserved from a kind of nature point of view, that, hey, this is I in my own domain. You can't influence me too much, you know? Wow, boy.
Yeah, that would be awful, boy.
But it is nice to have the company of dogs.
Of course.
I think I never really, we grew up not really taking care of dogs because you didn't really take care of dogs.
No, I didn't take care of dogs. You all brought dogs. Lasana did bring dogs home.
Yeah, but it was more pain for you than pleasure.
More pain.
But I think working, I got an appreciation for dogs really from working with Mr. Batter. And seeing, having the opportunity through him and Harry to see a man alone. I can never understand somebody who have like plenty dogs, hunting dogs. I never see it from a hobby point of view. But their presence, and I think having these dogs around now, stray dogs that just show up. I mean, look at Simon. Somebody abandoned Simon.
Yes. Lots of them. Sometimes you pass by the hospital, you see one or two of them, and people drop them off. Yeah. You know?
It's cute as a child. I mean, Cora is a serious dumping grounds for a lot of things.
Bodies and all. Yeah, man.
Friends and buddies.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, let me take away from your nostalgia. But there's another thing about Cora that you could be nostalgic about. It always have a stray dog that they show up. And that is often Joe can tell us, you and Lasana, that is almost like a signal this go out when one of these stray dogs pass away.
Yes.
Like they send a message and they say, hey boy, it have a opening up in Cora, boy.
Yeah.
And our next stray dogs just show up.
Yeah. A heck of a thing, isn't it?
I remember the one I used to call Stray. Well, I probably had about 14 or 15 strays. I really wasn't imaginative in dog names. Stray, come here, Stray. Next time you see strays are black German Shepherd or something. Hey, Stray, come here. It's like, Stray, come back.
Hey, let me see something written on your chest there. My perfect day. Wake up, play Switch games, eat breakfast, what's that? Playbox?
Play Xbox.
Play Xbox games.
Eat lunch.
Play
PS5 games.
You have achieved all those things?
This kind of my nostalgia. But funny enough, recently, throughout, I still have a PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah.
And throughout time, I would always take it out of storage, put it on, and try to live back this past that I enjoy.
Ah.
And then an hour or two into it, I say, shucks, boy, you know, the zeal for that. It's like Western movies, I guess, for fellas from your age group.
That's right, that's right.
You always return to a Burt Lancaster or
Yeah, or John Wayne or Glenn Ford.
one day I might be sitting down watching Van Damme
Who knows?
or Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
Anyway.
man. Yeah, Lindy, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really helped me. Thank you.
At our time it and I
Yeah.
think I spend enough time with you. You
Great
going down
fella.
here by track?
I'm gonna walk there. Yes.
Yeah, well I kinda tired boy, so
Yeah. Yeah, repeat.
I'm gonna walk with you.
You know one of the.
Or you're gonna be alone.
No, it's okay. Yeah. That road where you're seeing there, that was the road that led to the house. That road right there. Lasana's property across there. Lasana and Mel. My father, Lasana and my old man were both born in September. One is the 21st and one is the 23rd, isn't it? And both of them
Nothing.
loved the land. I could see that. Sana loves planting, and the old man did too. He had a lot of trees around. He had a banana tree, he had a breadfruit tree. He had cereals, kaimit, mango trees.
I will only call his surname, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Holder
Uh-huh.
would often say to me,
Mm-hmm.
he say, your grandfather is one of the greatest men that he ever see when it come to leaving a will and inheritance. He say he's one of the greatest men. I talk about Mr. Holder is a senior man. I see I take a lot of inspiration from him in terms of he's the only man he knew that take the land that he had and divided it up equally for his 11 now, yeah?
Yes,
I
11.
don't know where the man had that energy from, but the 11 children.
Actually, it was 10, divided
10?
by 10, because Desmond had his own property then.
When there's some part in the Bible is Proverbs or something, and they talk about like a wise man or something being able to leave an inheritance for his grandchildren. And look at what you have here today.
Of course.
It's I would have never ever been able to afford a piece of land and to get a head start to put down a home. Through that man's foresight, that possible. And then you have they may not be here presently, but you have the offspring of Mr. Bertram, Cedric, and you have all of those things being present that their descendants one day could put up a home up there.
That's right.
That is absolutely amazing. Amazing that he could pull off something like that.
And could you imagine that he cut a road? You could see the top of a house across there. My sister Claudia lived at one time there.
Auntie Claudia.
And my nephew Frank Morrison is now there. But the old man between the land and that house, he provided a road for those who will live in the back up there. So again,
How they cut that road in excavator a long time?
yes. So you know it is important to remember really that the old man did a fantastic job, really, in dividing the land. He did a really great job. Okay, Mel.
Amazing work, boy.
Hey, will you take that thing off my head there for me, will you?
What's that, the glasses? What do you mean, Tom?
Yeah, that's yeah. Put it on.
Is
Let me
that
see.
glasses or shades?
It's shades, right? Hey, you look smart, man.
Oh, boy.
What? It's too powerful for you?
A thick boy. Oh, yeah, that's something I remember too, boy. Your father used to wear some thick glasses, boy.
Oh yes.
Looking at that man, I see. He used to think that 3 times the size I really is, you know.
Boy, I would think, you know, with the glasses he wore from Corey, you could have seen Tamana, you know. Yeah. So, you know, I would like to continue my little nostalgic We didn't have,
To the river?
not to the river entirely, but you know, the track at least. Right at this gap here, we used to be playing what you call racing and whatnot. Huh? I think I did this with Lasana recently. We're playing racing. This was the old driveway here. That's one of the things that happen up here a lot, you know. These dogs, a lot of dogs got killed right here, you know.
You almost get bounced down the other day.
Oh yeah, Simon, you're playing with your life, son. Daughter. Yeah. So this is the track that the old man and my sisters and brothers would walk down. It veered almost to the right side of this clearing here, because this is really a more recent, it's clearly a more recent track that the forestry department keeps clear for as a fire track. Oh, that's nice. So guys, let me see you do an imitation of Mr. Sala there.
Imitation of Sana.
Yeah, let me see an imitation of Lasana there.
So guys, the garden is coming along well. I mix up the soil with some nutrients from Simon.
Poor Simon.
Yeah, so guys, dog fertilizer is something that's really important for your garden and your watercress. It really enhances the flavor of the watercress. And if you all didn't know this, a lot of the watercress in Trinidad, it actually comes from Valencia
Guanapo.
and places like Curapo and what's the name of the next place, boy?
Guanapo.
No, Paramin.
Ah. Yes, I like it when he
Stay
laughs.
tuned.
I like it when he laughs into this nice little quiet, you know, this quite intense look, you know. Yes. So this is the kind of environment that we grew up in. And you know, when we come from the river, not always that mother will go with us. But when we came from the river, mother would dutifully have that table laid. And she would just gladly feed her
She
children.
must get tired feeding all your boy. Boy, you could imagine having all them children and one hungry at different times of the day.
No, that didn't work that way.
You had to come to the table when called.
Yeah, you came to the table when called.
They look bored of calling me, boy. What, something fall out my pocket there, boy?
I don't know. You'll find it.
Mr. Harry Border. What you say? Let me call you back.
Yeah, Lindy. Now that's the next thing too, eh? We didn't have cell phones in them days, eh? We didn't even have a telephone. We didn't even have electricity at one point. We didn't have running water. You see this track here? We used to go down this track. You moving?
No. I just call him back, Harry, while they talk. Keep talking.
Yeah, we used to go down this track here, and when you got almost to the river, you veered to the right, and there was a lovely little ravine, a little pool that afforded us good drinking water. And we would trek up, you know, with a little plastic keg on your head or your arms or whatever, however you could carry it. Those were the days, my boy. Yeah, those were the days. When the old man lived here in those days, he didn't have a brush cutter, he didn't have a still machine, as they say, he didn't have a lawnmower. So we use what we call a swiper.
Of course, you might see something that's not usually seen.
Yeah, we just had a swiper. It was a long stick, a blade attached to it that was shaped and bent to fit the wood, and that's how we cut the grass. And you know, when the old man would go to work, I was home for about 2 years before I went to work at the Express at the age of 18. And I would get up and do a portion of work. But there was always something that the bees, you know, the bees were always aroused.
Let me film it there. You're only showing people bush while you talk.
The bees often would be aroused by the metallic sound of the blade hitting a stone, a pebble, or whatever, and they will come charging at you. And the worst thing to do was to raise your hand and try to shy it off. That didn't work at all. So the old man was an accountant. He was a SRP. He worked hard to mind us. He was a tailor. Oh, he did all these things. And then he bought one of these little push machines that had a blade operated manually. No machine, no mechanical thing to it. And that was a big event in Korea, But it could only work on the front lawn, because it was level. It was well raked. So you had to, you push this machine. And then we graduated to a lawnmower. Really? Graduated to a lawnmower. And my friend, I tell you something, boy. The old man would sit down on a stone and he would be watching me cut with this lawnmower. And if the machine go bang! Easy, son, easy, son, easy, son. Don't destroy it so quickly. Don't destroy it so quickly. Yeah, at times you could get a little aggravated.
Do you know I just feel that same way about you?
Really? Oh, gosh. You know what the old man used to do too, boy, on a Sunday evening? He was like an entrepreneur just like Lasana. And Sana is ready just like him, I should say. He would take me up into the back. He would clear a spot of grass and whatever, twigs. And then he would dig the earth. And he would get a sifter. And I saw Lasana in one of his recent videos make a sifter to suit the size of the wheelbarrow. Right? And he would throw, the old man would throw the earth into it. And I would have to shake it. And the pure, well, I shouldn't say pure, but, the earth that is gathered, he put it into plastic bags, about that big, and he took it to Miller's stores the next day, the Monday, and because he worked in the hardware department, and then he was paid for that earth that came from the backyard.
So is it because of him that the soil's so hard up here now that he take up all the topsoil? Because where that old man was getting that strength to be digging that soil, it was he had layers of soft soil and he went away with all of it?
Not really, not really. You see,
that's why the mountain behind us so flat? No. He was an entrepreneur. Even when, around the time, I remember it as a Saturday when he demolished the house.
2019.
And that was a family decision. Immediate siblings would have been involved in that, I imagine.
Yes, of course.
And but I remember finding some books with notes that he was taking on beekeeping. He was taking his notes.
On beekeeping, eh?
Yeah. Boy, I did that for someone who has a special interest in archiving.
Well,
I do a terrible job along them lines, boy. There were a lot of records, Kitchener records, and different things,
Yeah, we had a lot of records ready,
yeah.
We had a lot of records.
Listen, when I see a picture of Kitchener on the record, I say, but I didn't know Kitchener was ever so young.
Yeah.
Because I always imagine Kitchener as an old man, You know, with the hat and the 10-piece suit or whatever he was wearing.
10-piece suit.
You used to have real clothes on,
Yeah. He and this fellow, what's his name again, boy? I forgot, just Pretender.
Them fellas must used to feel hot on stage.
Yeah, they were very hot in performance, eh?
Yeah. Talented men, boy.
Yeah. The old man was president of the Beekeepers Association at one time,
Serious?
And he was so diligent about it that he dressed one Sunday and he left to go to Arima to this beekeepers meeting. And he came back within the hour. So we said, that was a quick meeting, nobody turned up. He said, no, it's next Sunday. Yeah, well, indeed. So this is life in Korea. I was so happy I came up here today. I was feeling nostalgic about the past. I just hope that Lasana could continue with his garden and to show the evidence one day to his children that this is my effort. You can reap from it. You can reap from it of the labor of what I have done. So we just hope that good fruit will come. Well, Lindy boy, the next time we do something, I want to be heading to the river.
God willing.
God willing, you know, and we can talk about things that I failed to speak about with the old man. The old man and I never talked about marriage, you know. And I got married at the age of 21. Louise was heading to 19. But he never talked to me about marriage. The things I learned it from those who were older than me and got married. Whatever might have turned up in their experiences, I benefited from it, being the last and observing. You know, he never talked. There was no sex education talk. You know, either you saw a movie or you talked to your friends, and that's all that we picked up. But it was never like a father talking. I don't know whether mother even spoke to my sisters about sex education, things that you should, you know, be careful with. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know that I have even ever spoken to you about things about, you know. You remember anything like that?
No. But I remember once.
What do you remember once? You don't dare say it?
Hey, we can talk about that next time. I wouldn't want you to have to edit this video in any way.
No. I don't want to edit no video. I just want this video to run with all the trees and all the birds and the bees and Simon prowling around in the back there.
Hey, but it's marvelous, boy, when you have children and you have an opportunity almost to relive your childhood through them by seeing things that have become ordinary for us. You get to see how extraordinary it is to them, and is able to take you back to a place where you remember it like that. Nostalgia is an important part. I think equally important is not being nostalgic to the sense where it pains you or you reflect on the pain of the nostalgia, but you just enjoy the pleasant memories and know that one day I have left my mark in the way that I hope is a positive way on the children, my grandchildren. But is this kind of about slowly letting go of these things so that we could transition into something greater than this moment on earth? That's what I think it is. I think personally, when I revisit things like pictures, it is more currently at my age, at 40 years old, is more to kind of grieve maybe for days that don't exist anymore.
Right.
You know?
Right, yes.
Not that it's bad days versus good days. But you grieve for a time where life seems simpler for a child. And that is the responsibility I know I have towards my children. Because one day, God willing, they're going to transition into adulthood.
That's right.
And they're going to have the same responsibilities that I have right now.
That's right.
They're going to have the same happy, sad, terrible moments with a spouse because it's human nature, you know, at work. But they would be able to say to themselves that, or they may not even know it, but that they would have had a kind of stable enough background to make sensible decisions. Something dawned on me a day. I may have mentioned it to you already. I was doing some work in the backyard, maybe digging a drain to get some water off of the land. And it suddenly occurred to me, I wonder who was here 1,000 years ago, boy. And then I wondered in the same moment, I wonder who will be here 1,000 years from now, God willing, assuming the earth's still around. And you will be, even the mark that you try to leave in the form of books, YouTube, different forms of technology, it may not be there. It's just about the moment that you are in right now and what you're trying to do for your soul salvation afterwards. That is all that matter. That is all that matter.
True. You know, as you mentioned about soul salvation, the old man used to read the Bible, eh? He would sit down and read the Bible.
Pull it closer to you.
The old man would sit down and read the Bible. And I could tell as a youngster that this man is trying to find peace and quiet. But he never really spoke to us about the Bible, things in the Bible. You know, I know the time came when they would make a little trip to this church and that church, call it novenas, is it, right? But he never really talked about the Bible. And I think it's a wonderful thing to talk to your children about God. You know, I remember one evening exercising there. It was getting dark. And I sat down in the road and I looked up at the stars Nothing was passing, no cars, no human being, no dog. It was so quiet and peaceful. And I said, you know, I would really like to get to know the God who created this earth. Years passed, things that I did, I said, God has been patient. And now I read my Bible and I could find peace in it. I don't know if the old man ever found peace in when he was reading, but he was really trying. And that's the thing that gives us peace, you know, trying to reach God. Reaching God, establishing a relationship with God. That's what gives us peace. Anyway, Lindy boy, thank you very much for coming with me on this trip. It has, as you say, you know, nostalgia doesn't have to be the kind that is painful. But today I will remember your inclusion here, and it has brought me great satisfaction to lean against this tree, this poor tree that's taking all my weight.
Yeah, no, let's can't give up.
No, I will try, eh?
Right,
But maybe you could give me a hand too, eh? Well, thanks a lot, fellas. Thank you very much, my boy.